Okay, I'm just gonna wait for a few people to come in. You all can obviously check the replay. Let's see. See, invite a few people. Okay, so I invited some people. So basically today I'm going to be showing you how to make vegan tuna salad, basically using chickpeas. So I started with a 1 pound can of Goya chickpeas, and you drain them, add them to a bowl, and you can actually, I didn't use a food processor, I just used the back of a fork to mash it up. But basically you want to mash up the chickpeas until you have like a rough consistency. So when you get done, it should look like that. I don't know, if I use a food processor, I tend to leave it in there too long, and then it's gonna get all like extra mushy, and you don't want it mushy. So basically you want to prepare this like you would prepare your tuna salad any other time. So everyone is different. This is basically just showing you how to make it without actually using tuna. So what I'm going to use today is going to be real simple. I am going to use green onions, which I have already chopped up. I am going to use vegan mayonnaise, which hence the point, it's supposed to be vegan. This is the Earth Balance brand. This actually was the cheapest brand that they had at Fresh Time, because of course when you go vegan, everyone knows that it's way so much more expensive to when you go vegan, because obviously everybody wants us to just stay fat and overweight. So it's always easier and cheaper to eat bad than it is to go vegan and eat healthy, just because it's so ridiculously expensive. So this vegan mayonnaise, I believe for 16 ounces it was $3.49. I got it from Fresh Time. There are some other popular brands, but $5 for a 16 ounce jar of mayonnaise is, it's kind of pushing it. I'm going to use pickle relish. That's what I used to put in my tuna before. And then I am going to use the seasoning I use any other time, which is my mother's seasoning that she actually makes. She makes it in a non-salt version and a salt version. Depends on, you know, what you're doing otherwise with your health. And then I also have lemons, and that's actually going to cut everything. So I'm going to add my green onions. And I mean, of course, you know, some people like celery in it. I'm not a big celery fan. I just don't like it. I mean, going healthy, I've been trying to get into it, but I'm just not a big sage celery person. Like when I used to make dressing for Thanksgiving and Christmas, I always kept the sage and the celery and stuff out of it. And I mean, it tastes great without it. It's just, I guess people are so used to that taste in sage and celery. It has such an overpowering taste. Most people can't even, it's just, sometimes you can just add too much. So, got my green onions in. I'm gonna add some seasoning. Oh, and I will show you a way if you just have to have that tuna flavor. There is something that you could pick up at a global store or an international store. I actually went to Global. We actually have a market called Global, and each aisle is for a different country. So they have a aisle for China, for Indonesia, Jamaica, everywhere. So if you actually just have to have that flavor, you can actually get Norito Mago Fear Cake. This is something that is used, a lot of people use it for sushi, of course, to give it that, you know, flavor or whatever. It mainly has like seaweed. Now this is not vegan. So if you're going vegan completely, don't use this. But if you're like slow, because I tell people to try to ease into it, because honestly, if you just jump into going vegan, it's going to be like a shock to your system. So a lot of people have tried it and they couldn't get with it. So I always tell people, if you're really trying to just like slowly go into it, I'm doing it for health reasons. Most people who know me already knew that I didn't eat meat. The only thing I did eat was like really cheese and seafood. So cutting those two out, it hasn't been like super hard, but I'm a big chickpea person because I love falafel. And when you actually research making vegan recipes, you realize that chickpeas are used for a lot actually. So for those of you who just have to have that extra flavor, like I said, Norito Mago Fear Cake, you can get it at a Global store or fish markets, Asian stores, because here in St. Louis we actually have a strip that has nothing but Asian stores. So I mean, a lot of stuff is easily accessible because that's where I go to get my seaweed from. So got that mixed in. I am going to add some lemon juice, and I'm using fresh ingredients because, I mean, of course, you know, you can always get the 100% lemon. I mean, depending on where you live, it might be cheaper to get the 100% lemon, but I actually went to the market today, and so I am going to use all fresh ingredients. So I already took the seeds out. I'm gonna add my lemon juice. Now another thing when making tuna salad, everybody is different. So some people like it super wet, some people like it, you know, kind of dry. It is really up to you as far as like how much vegan mayonnaise, or if you're using relish, how much you put in. Another option that you have, which is basically just chickpea on chickpea, instead of using vegan mayonnaise, you can also use hummus to stand in, but you are gonna need like some kind of binder. So you can make your own hummus at home, of course, if you have the chickpeas and a food processor. Like, it was a workout smashing these up with the back of a fork, so might want to use a food processor if you're actually going to attempt to make hummus at home. So I am going to add a little relish, and I don't like mine real wet, so I use 2 tablespoons of relish. Get that blended well. And at this point, and I'm going to show you how it looks now. At this point, this is what I'm working with. And this is after adding relish, green onions, the lemon juice, and seasoning. That's where we are right now. Hey y'all. Alright. So like I said, when it comes to vegan mayonnaise, well, the wet ingredients, it's really up to you how much you want to put in. Let's see. I did use the 1 pound can of chickpeas, so I'm going to start off with 3 tablespoons of vegan mayonnaise and just see the consistency and how that is. And, you know, with some ingredients, less is more. And yeah, that was enough for that 1 pound can. And of course you can season to taste. I use my mother's seasoning, but you can use salt, pepper, garlic, however, like I said, however you make your tuna salad normally. And for those of you who are doing like a low carb option, you can substitute, instead of using bread or crackers, you can cut up cucumbers. Cucumbers are really good. If you are a person that likes celery, you know what I mean, you can treat it just like peanut butter, eat it on celery. And those are just low carb options. I personally am going to use this good old 80 calorie multi-grain, just because I am going to enjoy this cheat day, which is really not a cheat day because we do need a certain amount of carbs in our body, and I have pretty much got down to my weight goal, 25 pounds away from where I want to be. So I am, of course, starting to add carbs back into my diet slowly, just so I don't knock myself back. All right. All right, and this is where we are now. Nacho said take a step back. Well, I mean, I got two devices because I'm recording for YouTube and I'm live on Facebook, so I actually have my devices leaning up against something. So until I get a nice little stand or something to actually hold a device, we gonna work with this. Don't judge me. All right. So this is your finished. Can you see it now? This is what I have now. Now, some people, of course, like I said, everybody is different. Sprinkle sugar, whatever. However you want, however you make your tuna. Usually, like I said, I'm doing this the healthiest way possible. So, none of that in this. But, it's fairly quick and easy. Prep time and making it was probably 30 minutes. And that's just simply because smashing all those chickpeas with a 1 pound can. If you use a smaller can, if you're just trying to make a small serving, you could go with the smaller can, but I am going to basically eat off this all weekend. I meal prep on my last day before I go back to work, just so I have something to eat on while I'm at work, because when you meal prep, that pretty much keeps you from cheating, especially if you're trying to watch what you're putting into your body and things like that. So meal prepping is literally the way to go if you actually are trying to lose weight. So, like I said, for this, I use seasoning, vegan mayo, relish, green onions for myself, lemon juice, and the chickpeas. And voila, vegan tuna salad. So, after I end this video, please drop down in the comments what days are good for you all, because I'm going to start doing this once a week to start, to show you different vegan recipes. Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays would be preferable. So everybody, after this video ends, just basically drop down in the comments which one of those days would be great and what time is good. And basically I'll go with the better time and the best day for everyone, and then everyone else can either just look at the replay or check it out on my YouTube, which is BodyByMing. So have a healthy lifestyle. Thanks guys for tuning in.